Hello art friends, and welcome to my final Drawing Your Creepypasta OCs Halloween edition. I only have 2 OCs for you in this video, and actually starting from here on out, I'll only be picking 1 OC per video, and I'll be doing more shorter videos. So I hope you stick around with me through this change. Anyways, on to the OCs. Trick and Treat, submitted by Mary Green. Corey had always hated Halloween, due to it being the same day his younger sisters had died. He was 15 and they were both 9. His younger sisters were twins, and they had loved Halloween. But that was also the day they had been killed. Every Halloween since the day they died, he could not sleep. The horrible images of seeing his sisters' mutilated bodies being pulled into an ambulance haunted his brain. Later that same night, his mother walked into his room. "Hey sweetie, how are you? Aren't you going to go outside?" she said, softly rubbing his back. "Do you think I'm going to have a good time on Halloween, even though Allie and Billy died on Halloween? Are you crazy?" he said, raising his voice slightly. His mother sighed, then placed something on his bed. She left, and he turned to see what was on his bed. Weird, he thought, picking up the small black and white box. He took off the ribbon surrounding the box, and as Corey went to open it, he heard a scream come from his living room. He dropped the box and ran to the living room, only to find his mother laying on the floor, her body mutilated. "Mom!" he yelled. He looked up over her body, and his heart dropped. He saw 2 little girls standing over his mother's body. They were each holding a matching candy bucket and matching hammers. He felt chills go up his spine as he locked eyes with them. "Who are you? How did you get into my house? Why did you kill her?" he yelled. They did nothing. They just stared. Corey turned on his heel and ran into his room, preparing to call 911. As he grabbed his phone, there was a knock at the door. He stopped. Something told him to open the door, so he did. The same girls that were looking over his mother's body. "What?" he said. "No, they were just in his house. How could they have gotten out without him hearing them? Was he going crazy?" No, his heart seemed to stop. "Hey sweetie, who's at the door? If they want candy, there's some near the shoe rack," his mom called from the kitchen. He went pale as he took a step back from the girls. Their heads tilted in a slow and in sync way. "Trick?" the one with the black hair said. "Or treat?" the one with the white hair said. He screamed and slammed the door. He sunk to the ground, his back pressed against the door. He began to cry. "Corey," his mom said, running over to him. "Sweetie, what's wrong? What happened?" she asked, but he couldn't understand her over the sounds of his crying. He looked up and screamed again, trying to back away. His mother still had a mutilated body. His head was spinning, and he was trying to piece together what was happening. He ripped the door open and ran outside. His mom called after him and tried to run after him, but he disappeared into the dark. He went to the cemetery where he calmed down a bit. He found his sisters' graves, and he sat down in front of them. He felt a chill go over him, and he looked up. They were standing right in front of him. He realized it was them. "Allie? Billy?" he said quietly, still shaking. Their smiles faded, and their faces became twisted and angry. "You will pay. We loved you, and you hurt us." He began to back away. He let out a choked cry as he suddenly felt a pain in his stomach. He looked down, seeing his stomach was split open. They were looking over him, giving him creepy smiles. The world around him faded to black. Let's just say their murderer was found. Jack-o'-lantern, submitted by Spooky Les. Jack is a somewhat normal child with a love for Halloween. It was always his favorite, despite kids teasing him and calling him Pumpkin for his appearance. Jack would dress as a pumpkin each year to humor his classmates. The outfit consisted of an orange turtleneck, orange trousers, and black lipstick, what made a pointy smile. Dressing up was his favorite part. He thought this year would be the same. But you see, Jack acted younger than he was. He was like an overgrown toddler, which irritated his classmates. So this year, they decided to do a cruel prank on him. Jack came to school. His mother said goodbye, and Jack ran into school, ready to greet everyone in his costume. But everyone ignored him in the class. The teachers paid no mind to this, but it saddened Jack. He couldn't understand what was wrong. When lunch finally came, his best friend finally spoke to him. "Hey, Jack," he said, but he didn't sound or look happy to talk to Jack. But Jack was excited to notice. "Chris, I like your zombie costume. What do you think of mine?" Chris rolled his eyes and grabbed his arm. "Look, I don't care, but Denise wants to talk to you," he said, dragging him outside to the tree where everyone was gathered. "Hey, Pumpkin," Denise said as everyone started to surround them, watching closely. "Why is everyone staring? I thought you wanted to talk." He stuttered before Denise punched him, sending him to the ground, and she proceeded to stomp on his head. Jack cried and screamed, but she didn't stop. Everyone around just laughed and kept chanting, "Smash the pumpkin," until blood spilled out of Jack's head. Then they ran in horror. A teacher ran over. Luckily, he survived. It took a year for Jack to return. He had bad brain damage. He could only remember that day. He was so distant and wasn't himself. The only thing he'd say when he was at school was Halloween, which many teachers found strange. And so did his parents. But the adults around him were too ignorant, so they didn't do anything. It was Halloween again. Jack came in the exact costume he wore last year, with blood stains, and the kids would shiver around them because he flashed them all a crooked smile with demented eyes. Jack followed Denise in the playground with something in his hand. Denise tried to avoid him by hiding behind the tree, but he knew she was there. He walked up to her. She was sitting on the ground. He grabbed her face before she even noticed him. He flashed a pumpkin carver and then stabbed her face. She tried to scream, but Jack hit her on the head, and everyone had already went inside. After, Jack had ran off, leaving Denise in a bloody mess. Her eyes were no longer in her sockets. Her mouth was carved from cheek to cheek, with blood dripping. Her nose was just a blood-full hole, and he had cut open her head and scooped out her brain. There was only a candle left in her head. This continues to happen each year to people who are the age Jack would be. Do you hear that? He's coming. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted a Halloween OC. Sorry I couldn't do more. I had a lot of trouble with my iPad. But yeah, as of now, this is the last video to have multiple OCs, and every video here on out will only have one OC per video. It's a tough choice to make, but the videos just don't get that many views anymore for me to be doing 3+ drawings per video. So yeah, I really hope that you're okay with this change. Like I said, I'm going to be doing more videos, just only one OC per video. The next theme is open. There is no theme, so whatever kind of OC you want to leave in the comments below, please leave. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, hope you enjoyed the stories, and I hope you enjoyed the drawings. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, bye.